tonight we have live coverage of the men's Recharge with Milk Provincial Tankard, coming to you from the Canada Summit Centre in Huntsville, Ontario. My name is Ian Tetley, and I'm joined by my esteemed colleague Mary Chilvers, two-time Ontario Scotties representative and runner-up in the 1997 Scotties to Sandra Schmerler. Well, Mary, tonight's featured match is going to have Richard KRELL from the Kitchener-Waterloo Granite Curling Club, and he's going to be up against John Epping from the Leaside Curling Club in Toronto. So this is going to be quite the match. Obviously, KRELL coming off a win over Wayne Tuck's rink this afternoon, and John Epping getting on the ice for the first time tonight. What do you expect, Mary?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting game. This is John's first game here. He had the afternoon off. KRELL does have one game under his belt, but of course KRELL's team, I guess we could say, would be the rookies in this particular match this evening.
Well, I definitely think that they are going to be the underdogs for sure. You know, Richard, a 25-year-old from London, and obviously heading up this team of young guys. Obviously, Evan Worley at 28-year-old second man, and John Wanlock, also another young guy from 23-year-old, and then Rob Curry, 24-year-old. They're a very young team, getting their feet wet here this week, and they're up against what we could probably call the preeminent favorite going into this week.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a very familiar-looking team here with John Epping at skip, Matt Cam playing third, Pat Jansen at second, and Tim March at lead. And like you say, Ian, these guys have been knocking on the door here for a few years now, and you know, they're really going to hope that this year is the year.
Well, John currently stands number 8 in the order of merit in the Canadian World Curling Tour, and you know, they've been playing a number of years. I think they're really upset with their performance at the Canadian Olympic Trials back in December in Ottawa, and I think he's, you know, a lot of times teams either fold up after that and they kind of go away, or they kind of right the ship and find a way to win. You know, from personal experience with myself, I know in '97 we lost the trials, and we weren't one of the favorites, but we lost the trials, but we ended up going on and winning the Worlds that year. Yeah. You know, you kind of regroup and get focused, and then you go on and you find a way. And I think that's exactly what John's trying to do here.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's only one team every 4 years is going to win the Olympic trials, and you know, it's a bonus if you win that, but I think, you know, John's goal he wants to get to that Brier, so.
Just finishing up the draws to the button here to see who gets hammer. I know John put it just shy of the button, and these guys look like they're the KRELL about to put it on the button. So I think he's done just that, and I think that may be the hammer for the KRELL team. So that's a big uplifting moment for them, I think, knowing that John's the favorite going into the game, and they kind of get the upper hand by winning the hammer. Yeah,
that's a great start for this KRELL team. So I'm just thinking, Ian, if you were the KRELL team, how would you play this Epping team?
Well, one, it's John's first game in the facility here, so they have to kind of get acclimatized as well, but. Yeah. I think just the fear of John, we've seen him a lot on TV the last 3 or 4 years. You know, he's definitely a guy that comes to play, and these guys, they're going to be probably really, really nervous up against a guy like John Epping, and so I think in their best bet they probably should play fairly defensive. I don't think they want to try to get into it too early, because if they have to make a big shot and they miss, it's just going to make them more nervous. So yeah. I think what they want to do is try to settle the nerves, just try to make some easy routine shots, and then when they kind of get comfortable, then you start playing hard.
Yeah, I would agree. John does like to get into it though, and sometimes it does hurt him.
Well, so yeah, you're right. I think in some of the slam events that he's won, he's made some pretty big angle raised takeouts to win those games, and I'm not sure that against this field here today that he would want to stick his neck out that far.
Right. Yeah.
KRELL team currently 51st in the order of merit on the World Curling Tour, so they've had a respectable year for probably average age of 24 on that team. Obviously looking to get more experience and more guidance, and use something like an event like this as a stepping stone to greatness.
Yeah, I think the KRELL team actually they played quite a bit this year, mostly locally, but they've had some success. So it'll be nice to watch a nice young new team here.
They played 44 games to date with 28 wins and 16 losses, up against a guy like John Epping, who they've played upwards of 66 games so far this year. We're at 35 wins and 31 losses. I would think that the competition that John's played against has probably been a little tougher to beat than the KRELL team. But at the end of the day, you got to put points on the board, and you got to win games. We're going to have 3 other games on top here tonight. Obviously, the 4 teams that received the bye into the second round of this triple lockout in the Recharge with Milk men's Tankard. On sheet M, we're going to have the Greg Balduson's team up against the Cody Moss team. Is that the Cody Moss team?
Yes. No, sorry. I think it's Bice against Moss.
Oh, yes, Bice against Moss.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sheet I.
Yeah, you got Franz against Howard.
Obviously, Franz was our feature game this afternoon. They got a win against Sebastian Rummelard. And you know what? They've got a lineup change tonight. I see Sean Harrison's in there for Scott Foster, so that's going to be interesting. They have to adapt to that. But they're up against, obviously, 17-time Ontario provincial champion Glenn Howard, which, you know what? They're going to be in tough. But you know what? I think Glenn has kind of proven to a lot of people that he's starting to be beatable. And he started the season with Richard Hart, who obviously, for physical reasons, couldn't carry on. So now they've got Adam Spencer in there. So really interesting. Obviously, our feature sheet on sheet L is going to have obviously John Epping against Richard KRELL, and then on the other outside sheet, sheet K, is going to have the Cody Moss team, which is their first game, up against Mark Bice. Looks like we're getting ready to go. The final few slides, and away we go. What do you think John's sort of mantra is going to be in this game? Well,
John's an interesting team, I think what he should do, obviously, is play it fairly basic and take his points when he can. I think that's all it will take for him to beat the KRELL team. He's putting the guard up right away here. Sometimes John does get a little sucked into the lots of rocks in play, and sometimes it can hurt him. Just needs to make some prudent decisions, not just tonight, but all week.
30-year-old Tim March from Toronto, Ontario. They're going to throw up the guard here to lead it off for the John Epping rink.
Halfway. Nice sweet pat.
Well done by Tim March to kind of lead that off.
Yeah, he finished it pretty good.
And here's something you don't see that often. The KRELL team is just going to draw to the wing here.
Now, I haven't seen this team that much this year. Now it is Evan Lilly called the game for, I'm assuming, for
looks like
this team. Very well done. Throw it away, force John to kind of go deal with it, and You know, maybe they'll get the opportunity to walk up and peel the center guard.
Right.
Norm.
Watched this sheet earlier today, and out in the wings, any kind of weight, it really runs straight.
I think the ledges.
Crowd looking a little bit better tonight, Ian, and a little increase as the week goes on.
Well, we've had some pretty inclement weather here today. Obviously, you had challenges getting here, and I had a white knuckle drive up this morning from Toronto, so.
Yeah, it's been quite a winter, I must say.
Rob Curry's ending up throwing up the corner guard rather than getting to the rings, so this is going to give Patrick Jansen, the 30-year-old from Toronto, the opportunity to draw one in here.
It's in the house. T-line-ish?
You know, you poke it a tiny bit wide, and that could be the difference between Patrick's in turn and Tim's in turn, though, too, right?
Yeah. Very weight sensitive too. If you're at all heavy, it seems to run.
Jonah Monluck here, the 23-year-old from from London.
Should be her hair high.
Sorry, from St. Catharines. Hangs around, but this is okay for the KRELL team. You know, they get the opportunity to play a fairly open end.
Yeah. Not a lot of pressure.
No, they don't have to make any of the big freezes here at the first end. They can kind of hopefully get the nervous bug out of the system. Kind of exchanging stones here. Jonah going to try to hit and away. He doesn't really want to hit and roll in behind, because then it'd be behind cover and behind the tee line. It would give John's team the opportunity to sort of mount some offense here. If they can hang around over here in the 12th, it'd be an outstanding shot. Matt Cam here, now not going to try to make a little hit and roll if they can, get any action. Very well done by Matt. Matt, a native of Ottawa, but makes his home in Cornwall, so these guys have to travel quite a bit to hook up and throw practice stones and obviously to go to events.
Yeah, these guys are, the Epping team's very busy.
Evan Lilly, the 28-year-old from Sudbury, now residing in Sarnia. Real nice touch shot there. The only lefty out here. No, sorry, that was Jonah.
Cool.
John would like to get this inside roll now. Would be above the tee.
Matt trying to make the perfect little flop inside.
Very nice.
Well done, well swept, well called.
So Richard will attempt the run back here.
Little lefty in turn, got it going a little bit.
You like the guard? Get tight. You're running pretty good now, John.
We'll see how John's runs out here, Ian. Like you say, if you tip this out a little bit, it doesn't seem to want to curl in.
Well, he's got similar ice to what they gave Tim March, and I guess maybe it was Patrick Jansen's whose draw that didn't curl down this path.
How's your weight? Where?
Got his back line to hog at about 396, so he's...
Pat, you're in. Gotta go, Pat, as hard as you can.
This is hanging out there. I'm not sure it's going to have the weight to cover.
You got it, Pat. Keep going. Hard, Pat. Keep going. Go, 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 go.
Well brushed.
Still a piece of it showing on the other side.
Yeah. They're not looking at it, though. Looking at the run back again.
Yeah, it's running. It's not quite that draw to the button, but it's getting there.
Yeah, you got about half of it.
But to me, this is a smart shot. Like, you know, they
Yeah.
could go after it, and if they just clip the guard and feather it in the rings or something, I think the last thing this young team wants to do is try to throw anything against 2 or 3 in the first end, right?
Exactly.
This is really
This is
close.
yeah. Perfect.
Your intern is the best way. Yep.
Well done by Richard KRELL. KRELL team has had a pretty good season. They actually won the Brantford Nissan Men's Classic. And it looks like they've pretty well sort of cashed in the in most every other event they went in.
You might hit a bit of new stuff here, guys. Okay, then.
John Epping here, who has had a tremendous season themselves
Easy.
on the World Curling Tour. And now he's just trying to draw one into hopefully the top of the button, directly buried.
Pat. Oh, yep. Nice shot, John. Perfect.
Very nicely done.
Nice throw, John. I don't mind showing you a little bit of that.
Richard's just going to throw the run back here again. I don't blame him. He's this is his 3rd attempt on it. He knows what it does down here. He can hit and stick it, or he can hit and roll out blank.
However you get it to the spot, I don't care. It's trouble.
A little tight there. Well, that's unfortunate for the KRELL team, and John Epping will steal 1 point here in the first end of play. Epping will lead by a score of 1-0. One other end completed in another game over here was Glenn Howard taking a point on the Joe Franz team. Actually just taking one with the hammer, so.
You're going to be running good here, Tim.
Bolton and Keene, we had blank ends in the first.
Tim March going to start us off here in the second end of play. John Epping team up against Richard KRELL here in the second round of the A flight at the men's recharge with milk tankard. Obviously, Mary, rather than doing the round robin that we've historically done, they're doing a triple knockout, so teams have to lose 3 games to be eliminated.
Yeah, four teams will make playoffs.
Well, one will qualify from the A side, one from the B side, and then 2 out of the C side. The A and B qualifiers will go into the 1-2 page game, and then the C side qualifiers will go into the 3-4 page game.
Right. I like that it's still a page playoff. I like the whole format, actually.
It took a lot of years to grow on me.
It did, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim March trying to throw up the center guard. It curled off just a little bit. And now Rob Curry being asked to throw up a corner guard, which he does successfully.
Where are we going, Johnny? Start. Yep.
Johnny's going to get aggressive here with Tim's second stone and try and get one buried into the side of the forefoot. This team has spent a lot of time this year. I know they're being involved with the Curling Canada program. Sort of been on some of the funding, the only podium funding that comes through, so they can spend extra time training. I know Jim Wilson has been their coach all season long, working with them. You know, they work with the sports psych. These guys have been in the gym endlessly, getting in top physical shape to make sure that they can sweep end to end.
Yeah.
And both Tim and Patrick are great physical specimens for this game.
They sure are, yeah. That's a great shot that Tim just made there, and that's what John's going to be looking for this week is some consistency in his front end.
So this is where the arena type conditions might be a little bit foreign to the KRELL team. Mm-hmm. You know, they the last thing you want to start doing is missing like here, like the heavy and through the rings. If that rock is in the top 12 foot, sort of in the front there, you know, John's got to kind of deal with it.
Yeah. Right?
And it's not a rock that's going to get you in trouble. You just always want to make sure that you're missing on the pro side. And that's one of the things that if these guys can take as their major takeaway this week, it would be just that.
Yes. Could be a little nerves on that. I don't know. But they do have one game under their belt, so...
halfway high.
Draws in the hack are not a good thing.
Tight. Just past half, John, right now. Curl on.
So this is the first time this season that these two teams have played each other. Richard KRELL's not going to take any chances, and he's going to get Evan Lilly here just to try to double peel here. try to keep their life somewhat simple. Hopefully bring their corner guard into play. Well, he gets rid of the 2, but he kind of leaves his center guard. So this gives John the opportunity here. He's just going to keep, he's going to be patient, keep guarding his own stone here. They may run it back, and if they do run it back and peel it off, it may happen if their shooter ends up rolling off. Now John's got another rock that he can go behind later in the end, which covers a little piece of the button.
2 feet more. Coming down a bit. Same spot. Curl on. Good, Pat.
Very nice shot by Pat. KRELL would like to run this back, get rid of that one on the forefoot.
What do you think? Just keep plugging her up? Oh, yeah.
Evan Lilly going to try to run this thing back. Looking a little tight.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Ticks it over behind cover. Actually, this is interesting because the way those 2 stones are lined up, if they're close enough together,
Yes.
if John gets around there, they could get a little bit of a carry action on the 2.
Yeah.
They can use their snooker skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, John needs to be a little careful here, I think.
Matt Cam here to try to play the out-turn draw. Wow. I got 428 backline to hog on that.
Oh my goodness.
I think they're going to have to go hard just to get it there. Puts it in a great place. So just so if Richard does try to run something back, there'll be
Oh, for sure.
there's not really good angles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Jonah Monlock here. Really young guy, 23-year-old lefty here.
What is this going to do?
This is real close, real close. Wow, look at this.
No,
I
the jam, but
didn't think he could get that much of it, that
Yeah.
stone. I don't think they thought he could either. But that's a heck of a shot by him.
Yeah.
And to keep that thing in the rings. Well, the beauty of this, John's not going to take any chances. He's just going to eliminate this thing. But the problem that he has, though, is that now the KRELL team can just turn around and throw the out-turn draw behind their own guards and possibly instigate their own deuce.
yeah. John's rock being behind the tee line. He's not sitting in the best position.
Well, they're kind of forced right now into a point, anyways, because he is laying 2. I think this is a smart call, and if they need that other one later on, it's available to them.
Don't want to be deep here.
Well, it's a good shot because it's behind cover and it's shot rock and it's buried, but bad news is it's behind the tee line, and
That's a good time for just that fast stuff you're throwing, drawing the button.
Yeah, kind of gives John a note here.
most definitely.
Yeah.
Your line's good. Roll then. Roll.
This has got a lot of room, and this is not moving either.
Where are you?
It's going to have to start doing some winding.
Okay, you got to wait.
1475, that should be hot.
Close him. Yep.
Wow, it just took a little bit of a, it took a huge turn. I think that picked a bit.
That had to have picked.
Well, on the score sheet for the statistician, it's still going to be marked as a perfect shot.
Yeah.
So I got this.
So can they use these 2 yellow rocks out here now, Ian, to...
Bend and stop. I agree with their weight.
Well, the problem is that I still think he's going to jam.
Yeah.
Get on your guard and then draw the button. So you threw that.
And it's just going to be a matter of who's going to be shot after the fact.
To the guard, but the guard ended up pretty good. They finished hard.
But I don't think he's got any other alternative.
No.
Like, he needs just a tiny bit of carry on that thing. And if he can squeeze the blue out, leave his yellow there. Richard KRELL, the 25-year-old from London, Ontario. Going to try the straight back here.
This is close. Ah. Okay.
Wow, we ended up picking it clean. Which we didn't think was possible.
I wouldn't have called that, no.
Well, the only problem with it picking it clean was obviously it gives John the identical shot to come back in there and freeze on there and then hold Richard to 1. Mind you, Richard's going to have to make a good draw for his 1 on his last one.
Take a look at it the other way. I don't mind playing the other one. Just it looks easier down here than I think it will.
I'm always a fan of throwing the exact same shot. Everybody kind of,
absolutely.
John should know the ice. The sweeper should know the weight. John should know the weight.
You like this?
Just looking at the ice that they're taking here, Ian. Oh, he's moving out now. Because I'll tell you, it was looking pretty tight. John doesn't throw a whole lot of rotation on his rock either. So he does get a lot of curl.
Well, he's got the slow handle.
Yeah.
Easy.
And once again, this thing is running. I think he's quite a bit lighter, though.
Easy. If you're T, you can go. You can't bounce on this line. Yep. Whoa. 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 shot, John. Nice shot.
Well judged by all. That's when you got all 4 guys dialed right in.
Yeah.
You know, Matt on the great line call, and the sweepers saying exactly where that was.
So that leaves KRELL with just a draw here. Just duplicate that draw that John just threw, and he'll take his point.
Looks like he's taken another couple inches of ice, Mary.
Yeah.
Well, he's at 390, but this thing's running. I think John Epping is going to steal another one here, unless this thing does a lot of left turn Clyde. No, and he's heavy.
Yeah, just threw like back 12 on that. So, another steal puts John Epping up 2-0. With KRELL having hammer going into the third end.
First 7 there. He wasn't a 7, it was just 7 to the side. Well, I'll talk to him after.
On other sheets, we have Mark Keane is up 2-0 over Greg Balsden. I believe Howard took another point to be up 2-0 over Franz. Got Cody Moss up 2-0.
And Mark Bice just drew for his second point to get 2 to bring that game tied back up. And our feature game here this evening, obviously the John Epping team up against Richard KRELL. John Epping stealing points in both the first end and the second end. Leads us to here the third end. Young KRELL team.
Throw it now.
You know, you wonder after 2 ends, would they give up steals to John if they kind of get a little bit more nervous or, you know, kind of get out of sorts.
Discouraged, yeah.
You know, they got to try to settle down and just try to make a few shots, try to execute, you know, and then find their way back into this game.
Yeah.
Top 4.
So John will want to put this one in the rings, top 4.
Pull for it. Just.
Well, the KRELL team's only down 2 points here. Got the corner guard up. Lots of time.
Oh yeah, they don't have to panic yet, and that's the biggest thing that, you know, you try to get across to these young teams is that you know, a lot of times you're down 2 points, you kind of feel like you got to go all out for the deuce, and then you let the team steal another 1 or 2 points, and then the game's really over. It's like, you know what, even if you score 1 point here, at the end of the day, you know, and it's an away end. even if you blank the end, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I agree.
But they need, last end, Rob Curry threw one through the ring, so it obviously puts them behind the 8 ball, because now they're playing with 7 rocks, right?
Yeah. Yeah, got to get the rocks in play.
They're kind of choosing that John's rocks in a pretty good spot there, and they would just sort of draw away, try not to get into it, into the center of the ice, and try to use the outsides. But I think at the same time, I don't think John wants to get it too junky up front. John's going to try to do this in a real controlled fashion. So with our triple knockout here going on, Mary, obviously the winner of this game is going to play the winner of Mark Bice and Cody Moss. And on the other side of the this portion of the draw, you've got Balston and Keene playing, and then Joe Franz and Glenn Howard. I think, as you mentioned, Glenn Howard jumping out to a 2-0 lead on Joe Franz. And those games will be played tomorrow afternoon at 2:30. So the guys after tonight going to get a little bit of a break tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning we're going to see the losers of our games this afternoon go up against the 4 losers of this evening's draw.
So they will all be in the B side.
Correct.
Yeah.
Evan Lilly trying to run this center stone back and pick off the Epping rock. Well, he gets it out from behind cover, which was goal number 1. But for a second man, he didn't throw a whole lot of weight on that. It was a very controlled weight. Obviously, I think he's trying to control his shooter.
Yeah. I think that's what you have to do. When I was at the Scotties there, in the Ontario Scotties, the women were all throwing just a little too much weight. They were afraid to throw just that nice controlled takeout weight, and they were losing so many of their rocks.
Caught there.
I'm rolling out of the house.
Caught there.
Well, I think that with this ice being a little keener right now, and the rocks obviously not being quite as sharp, let's say, is that anytime you throw a hit with any type of a big weight, what these guys normally throw on tour, like especially on slam when you've got aggressive rocks.
Right.
Here they're going to float a little bit on you before they actually really start to kind of find their line. And so I think it is imperative that each of these guys do not try to overthrow it.
Right.
When I'm coaching my guys, when you get into the 9th and 10th ends, I think it's critical that, especially for the second and third man, if they're throwing peels, that they think 80%. With the adrenaline flowing and all that stuff going, it's probably going to be at about 100% of where they normally would practice.
Right.
But because of the adrenaline factor, you gotta curtail it, and just so they're throwing the stone under control.
Just like that.
That's very well done.
Yeah, perfect weight.
So Evan Lilly has definitely changed the outlook of this end, because now, regardless of what John does here, you'll probably see the KRELL team having the opportunity to throw a draw somewhere and hopefully set up their deuce.
Go.
Wow. That couldn't have rolled to an uglier place for John Epping. And why I say ugly is that There is no inside roll off it without jamming it.
Just curled right at the end. How we had it out of the hand.
It's pretty tough to keep it on this side of the guard.
Shoot.
This is where sometimes, and I don't know, Ian, maybe you can help me with this, but like Epping's up 2 points, and he was still going on the aggression here, where he actually could have peeled some guards here.
Well, he kind of had a rock in the, to me, like it's in the 8 foot, and it's kind of like, it's not doing you a whole lot of favors there. Like it's in a real tough spot for the opposition to do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, you end up playing into his hands a little bit. You know, Evan made a really good shot. He made the run back pick off, right? Or he got it out from behind there.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, John's kind of, you know, does he draw? Does he peel? What does he do, right?
Right.
He's not going to be able to get everything.
Yeah.
So here's the gunslinger part of John Epping is that, you know, he's going to try to throw this really, really hard with Matt Cam, hit it an inch across face, just double those two out, and hopefully roll his shooter all the way across and try to get frozen to the other stone. You know, he ends up rolling to a pretty good spot, but, you know, Jonah's going to have the opportunity to get behind here and lay two.
I thought we had it. Like, I was with you on the wall because it looked like it was just going to run straight.
Jonah trying to get one in here. These guys are going to have to go hard to get this thing here. He's light. It's going to give John Epping the opportunity to come around, play an intern little either freeze or chap, and hopefully kill this end.
My gut was draw. You guys think you have a handle for here? You like that, Johnny? Okay, right on the tee, bud.
Yeah,
like
so
that?
Just a missed opportunity there to score, sit two, and get back into this game.
Stay close. Easy. Close. Whoa.
Oh, he's just waiting for this thing just to come down just a little bit. It's got line hard now. They can sweep hard now.
Snapping. Gotta go. Right to it, Tim. You gotta go. Jeez.
Did they lose line?
Throw, John.
Just a little bit. I think they're still shot rock, though.
Yeah, I think so.
Nice throw, John. Sorry, man. Oh. That was Crow and hits that line. Yeah. Just dove in there.
Richard KRELL here going to try to come down and just play a little. If he can touch this Epping stone just about an inch or two, he can lay two. But first and foremost, he needs to make sure he's got angle. The line's most important here. As long as he's got the freeze.
16. I think so.
Oh, this is like John's. Once it got across the line, it just started warping sideways.
somewhere.
That's too bad.
The KRELL team ended up kicking one of the corner guards, and the EPPING team ends up replacing it.
Nothing there. Maybe run back. No, yep. Guard the center line. Nothing, eh? Yep. Right on the center
That's
line.
kind of that's an unfortunate miss. They they just kind of underswept it early.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they would have got that in there, they would have had been in golden shape.
Now I think John is just going to block off the middle here.
Yep. Timmy. Whoa. Yep, Tim. Whoa, line's good. Line's good.
Yeah, John's just going to try and throw a real tight guard here.
Pat, go.
Hopefully plug off the any type of draw or tap for Richard.
Split the center. Come on, Pat. Hard. That's a great shot. Good sweep, guys. Nice shot.
Now Richard's probably going to be have to play a draw tap or. That's exactly what he's doing. So, Mary, this is a classic example for me of what happens is that all the play on this sheet has been this intern coming away, intern. Now, all of a sudden, Richard goes over here and he's playing the outturn tap. Well, are you an IndyCar fan?
Yeah.
No.
You don't watch IndyCars? Well, there's a path where the cars go down, and you can always see the path. And when you go out, get off the path, you're out in the marbles. And I always kind of feel like this is out in the marbles. And like these guys, look, they're not cleaning, nobody's cleaning. And what usually happens is it makes a turn early and it's gone, and it's usually because nobody picks it up, cleans it early enough. He's real close here.
No, he's on the guard.
Yeah.
Well, you called that righty.
Well, it's just you just see it so much, and it's you gotta pick that up out of the guy's hand, even if it's just a hard clean.
Well, another steal for John Epping here in the third end of play. Score is now 3-0 for Team Epping, going into 4.
I'm not trying to sweep yours very hard on your first one. I was like trying to dust it just to get like a little bit away, but it like held it like crazy. I know.
Well, Ian, they have had their chances, the KRELL team. It's just a matter of not quite making their shots to precision.
Well, Jonah had the opportunity for him to throw his left-handed, freeze down there and lay two. Same token, they could have drawn another one in there, which could have given John the opportunity to play a run back and get rid of everything. But it's a matter of execution. For their first time here at this event, and they just got to make shots.
Yeah,
and they'll learn that.
On top 8.
I think to your point that you made last end that John's not playing all that defensively. Well, I think you might start to see the.
It'll come on now, huh?
I think the guns might start coming out. We might start seeing some heat.
Yeah.
Hair light, John.
Waist close. Waist close.
Oh, wow. Just really pushed it out. It's there. Word basket. Sit. Nice throw, Tim. Sorry, Freddie. A little lighter. Yeah. Nice throw, Tim.
Tim making 2 great shots there, obviously keeping some separation on those rocks in the forefoot. Rob Curry, he throwing up the corner guard the first time, being asked to throw up another corner guard here. It's the same thing though. You don't have to panic. Like, you know, that three's kind of all you need is one miss, and all of a sudden it generates a 3, right?
Yep. And even like a 2 here, Ian, is fine. Is good.
Oh, I think what they need is a point on the board just to settle down, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, John very patient here, going to just peel off this corner guard.
KRELL will put up another corner. Let John throw some peels on those for a while, and then proceed to do something else, Ian.
Well, obviously that Richard can kind of go around his one corner guard and hopefully, you know, get a deuce going.
Yeah.
But if the rocks that John had put on the forefoot were a little bit staggered, he could have used those and tried to go around those. But unfortunately, they're dead in the line. So.
I hit and roll in the first. There's 2.
Evan Lilly here.
No. You're saying the peels are cooked.
So with these corner guards being a little bit staggered, you might have seen John initially go up and try to rip make the double peel, but he's going to be content and just get the 1 here.
Oh, that was a big one. Maybe. It might touch it.
No, he may take his 1s on the
He
4
might.
though too. Well, that works out pretty good for the KRELL team because you know, it got rid of one of the rocks in the forefoot, which you know, at some point if they would have gone around the corner guard, they would have had to make a double and got rid of those.
Right.
The fact that they were in line about a foot apart would have been a difficult double and to hang around. Now that Patrick is conveniently for them taking that away, one of them away. They can throw up. Evan Lilly here is going to throw up the corner guard again, and you know, we'll see what John does with Matt Cam.
Surprised he threw another one.
They're pretty even, eh, Ian? There's no double there?
No.
No.
You know, this will be the 3rd time John's thrown it down here. So obviously 2 with Patrick, and now here with Matt. They kind of know how it runs. That should be fairly elementary. Elementary, my dear Watson.
So now we're going to see KRELL probably come around that corner.
I like the straighter ice.
A little tight.
Not sure if Jonah was believing how much this was going to curl into this corner, but you know what we've seen so far, it's probably been about 3.5 feet curled to the middle and about 4 to 5 feet curled to the wings.
Yeah, the wings are really curling.
Now that he's hit and rolled, he's kind of put it, left them in a real jam, because now this gives John Epping the opportunity to sort of put up the double center guard and possibly negate any run-throughs as well.
Yeah, I don't know if he was a little tight on that come around or if the skip wasn't giving enough ice, but it's crucial to get around that corner guard.
Well, it's like you said earlier today, you know, to me it's you don't even have to be pretty. It's just get it in the rings anywhere.
Exactly.
Over and off. Easy, Tim. Easy. Nope. Just let it stop. Sorry, guys.
Well, it's lined up here.
Well, I think John, in a perfect world, will like Matt Cam to have corner frozen that, so we would have to waste a stone just to peel them off. Now this gives Richard KRELL with Jonah here the opportunity to make the straight back and possibly even have great shape, all staggered guards too.
Hard! Hard! Hard!
Which way do you like to guard that, John?
To me, I just don't think they're.
You're liking your out?
I don't think they're reading how Jonah's lefty release is kind of going on this ice versus the other three right-handers. Like, he's the only one right now that's kind of struggling. A lot of it has to do more with line than with weight.
Yeah, and that would have been his in-turn there, which they do tend to curl a little more than the out-turn.
Pair more. Like that.
John going to be patient and just try to throw up the center guard, and be interesting to see at that point if you see Richard kind of switch gears and try to throw a draw in there. Just because, you know what, they need one shot that they need to make one shot, and usually, you know, it helps the whole team and sort of the morale, and that's what they need here. They need a little shot in the arm.
Yeah, shot in the arm. That's right.
Hard, Tim, run it in! Hard!
Sorry.
Ooh.
There's a little opening there.
They left a hole.
And it's like you say, Ian, all it takes is one shot. One shot can turn an end completely around. One shot, you can get a multiple end. It's just making that one shot that sometimes seems to elude people.
And that's all you're looking for, is just a little something to change the mo.
Yes. Well, maybe this is it here for Richard. He's got a chance here now.
Well, if he can get hit this thing and get to the inside and roll behind the Epping guard, it's going to put a lot of pressure on John to create something.
Very nice shot.
Well done by Richard KRELL. Well swept, well called.
What's that, sorry? Do you think you can go through that hole?
You know, and it really came down to actually John just missing his guard the wrong way, right?
Yep. So we're going to see a run back here.
Yeah, I think John's kind of, like I say, he's a gunslinger from way back. He kind of lives for these just a little bit.
Yep.
You know, the big thing to me is you throw these things, you throw them through the broom, and it's all about a clean release. Look at this, stuffs it too.
Shot.
That's a heck of a shot by John Epping. That's why he's number 8 in the world right now.
Yeah. You threw your fair share of those run backs in your day, Ian. Just having another look at it here.
Well, usually I set them up for Graham McCarroll.
Oh, I remember you making a few.
Didn't do anything. No. Well, you could swing.
Yeah, and you're right. You know what? Just throw it. Clean release is important.
Well, and obviously now for Richard KRELL, he's going to have to turn around. He just made a great shot, and then John Epping just one-upped him.
Yeah.
And now he's going to have to thread this needle to score a point. And the sad part of it is that if he's wide or tight and he racks the guard, that he gives up a steal of 2.
Yeah.
So huge shot and huge shot here for Richard. He's looking good.
Very nice.
Really
Very
well
nice.
thrown.
Yeah, beautiful shot.
No momentum, motion on the release right
Yeah.
away. Very well done.
Very nice.
Well, we might come back. We might remember that shot right there, just because you know what? If they come back and win this game, it's going to be that shot there that sort of turned the tide for them.
Yeah.
Sorry about Johnny's. I thought it was just a hair further.
So KRELL takes a single point here in the 4th end. Score now 3-1 for Team Epping.
Just gave up our first point here.
Epping will have hammer. In other games, we have a 3-2 score, Bice over Cody Moss. We have Glenn Howard winning 3-0 over Joe Franz, and a tie game between Keene and Ballston.
I got a runny nose and it's driving me nuts. I feel like I got a pebble in front of the rock right now.
Line's flying. Nice and tight. Yep. Yep. Hard.
Running good now, Timmy. Yeah.
How's line, John?
Go.
Interesting score lines between Epping and Howard. They both got ones the first 3 ends. Well, actually, there were one, sorry. One missed end in the Howard game, but he was up 3-0.
Of course, Howard and Epping would be considered the 2 favorites here this week.
I was talking with Scotty Howard before the event started, asking how was the America's Challenge. Obviously, they had the opportunity or burden, whichever way you want to look at it, to represent Canada in the America's Challenge up against Brazil.
Yep.
And you know, it was kind of noted that obviously, well, they got 7 points in the very first end,
Yeah.
so I think it helped relax them.
For sure, because you know you're right that it is considered a bit of a burden, a privilege, but a burden.
Yeah.
Right. But they did us proud.
And I'm just wondering what the World Curling Federation, what their thoughts will be going forward with an America's Challenge with Canada in it. You know, being that we've got
Good, John.
you know, about 200,000 everyday curlers and upwards of 1 million curlers that maybe couch curlers, if you want to call them that. You know, it's the biggest market in the world. I'm not sure that that's the right thing to be putting their backs against the wall and something like that.
Exactly.
Or T.
Well, Tim March missing the corner freeze, but coming in behind. This may give Richard KRELL the opportunity to, with Evan Lilly here, to make the perfect freeze and have John Epping in a bit of trouble. Like, this is one of those little windows where you've got to, you know, you've got the opportunity. You have to execute now.
I didn't sweep it at all. I was just on top of it. I wanted John to tell me if I could go or not. It's really sensitive to anything flat. I think you can get away with that, Tim, as long as your weight's there, and then we can weight on it. Yeah. So for like tight and out, yeah, tight and light. Sorry.
He's looking a little tight. But this is kind of the same thing we were talking about 2 ends ago. Like, this side of the sheet has not been used nearly as much. A lot of the drawing has been down the other side of the sheet. So this is where John is getting a little risky. Like, you know, to me the shot might be just to walk up and peel the center guard, right?
Exactly. Yeah, this is where
I think you're gonna run
John can sometimes trip up here. Forgets to peel those guards, and he's up 2 points here with hammer.
Just through. Just
Well,
through.
the thing is, if he's a little wide here, like this is running, if he jams this thing, it could be really ugly. Trying to get to the inside, it's working here. It's working.
Go, John. Yep.
It's a good shot by Pat Jansen. Nice weight, great weight control.
It's got to be, on this ice, it's got to be smooth. Yeah. It just tracks that much more.
I like tapping it to freeze
Or
the
it
blue.
takes that much longer to come out. So it's not too bad. You can afford to be like,
Well, being that the KRELL team is down 2 points and they don't have the hammer, they've got some opportunity here. Mary, I think it's they have to go on the offense here and try to get something going. Even though John's got an open stone that he can promote.
now we can, now we're sitting pretty good. We're running.
Starting to wind in here too.
The weight's looking nice.
Yeah, as long as they're gonna stay around for shot rock. No.
John, are we? Only problem with that is they do that again.
I think, John, that's why wouldn't you? I think John should play the slash on the front, maybe the front guard to get the one in the top 12 if he can.
Rip's the safest shot, because what do they do? They'll have to put another one. I don't like really going anywhere here. Like, even if we do that, is that. And then if he makes a good one, then we rip.
Wow,
You
the
got
Mark
the shot
Keane team getting
Sure.
4 points and
That's the
jumping
only
out
other
to a
shot I
6-2 lead over Greg
Wow.
Baldson.
It's either or, bud. Whatever you like to see.
The Bice team, after dropping 2 on the first end, has come back with 2 and two more singles, so they lead 4-2 after 4 ends of play.
We're up 2. Maybe rip is the call. Do you like rip? How do you like this? What was your first gut?
So here's where John Epping, you're up 2 points.
Let's
You got
rip.
the hammer. Like
Yeah.
this is the smart call, is walking up and throwing the peel.
It took them a while to get to this, though.
Well,
Which-
and that's why you keep discussing and hopefully common sense eventually prevails.
Yeah.
But I've been told that common sense isn't all that common.
You know, you're right about that, actually. I made up a saying, though, Tet, and I have it on a T-shirt. And it says, has anybody ever regretted peeling the guard? Think about it.
Yeah.
Just like, keep it going. I think that's the call, bud. What do you think? 2.
They're still discussing whether that was the call or not, but...
Well, I think that was definitely the right call. Actually, Richard doesn't have any really good angles going for himself right now. He can tap his own back into the pocket here.
Worse and worse. I know. I was standing off to the side because I wasn't going to sweep.
See, now I think you almost try to run that yellow. They just threw up the guard onto your own blue, and hopefully run back into these other two.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. You're up again?
Mind you, you may just create your own pocket.
Do you?
Wow, well, that's interesting. Johnny always looking to go on the offense. You know, he's
absolutely.
He is just. I think he'd be. You know, if you saw him at the poker tails, I think he would push you all in a lot.
Might be the call. Can he draw? No?
He doesn't want to give up a steal here. John wants to score in this end.
No, 100%. Yes.
Yeah, so he's got to be careful here.
Okay.
You know, it's fantastic this year. I think all our curling fans across Canada and the world get exposed to the Olympics coming up next month, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
We've just had some fantastic curling in both our Road to the Roar and our Roar of the Rings.
Yes, we have.
And so it, you know, made for some exciting viewing all weeks long.
Yeah, I actually had the pleasure of being at the Roar in Ottawa. And it was fantastic curling. They did such a good job as well. So much fun to be there.
I think as Canadians, we're very proud of the format that end up making sure that we've got two great representatives, both on the men's and the ladies. Obviously, Kevin Cooey on the men's side, Rachel Holman on the ladies' side.
Yeah.
And then our mixed doubles with Caitlin Laws and John Morris.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a great shot. I think once again, John's now in a little bit of trouble. But, you know, here we go. I think we should name him Dillinger. Because he is a gunslinger. He's all in.
Yeah.
I was like bored.
Now, is he trying to thread the needle, or is he running this back?
I thought running back, but I can't really tell this angle. No, he's threading the needle here.
Whoa, whoa. Whoa! Whoa!
He's through.
What a shot.
Beautiful shot by Matt Cam.
Great control weight. Here we go, showing it again, the replay on that. Matt making a real nice clean release. They just pick up Tim March picking up the sweeping right at the right time and just thread the needle. Well executed, Team Epping. Well, that just got him out of a world of hurt that I think he had sort of started to skip himself into.
Yeah.
You know, I think Richard KRELL has got no option here. To me, he's going to have to try to follow him down exactly.
Yeah.
Well done by our lads in the I want to say bus.
In the bus, in the room.
Our team in the room. I've got TSL here bringing us the instant replay. Richard KRELL going to throw the in-turn sort of board weight hit.
This is close too.
Yeah, he's real close.
Oh my goodness.
Look at these guys making that look.
Great shot.
Well, and he rolled inside, and he's going to give John Epping probably no other alternative here now to run his own back.
High firm.
Throws just the right weight here. It's nice controlled weight.
Stuff it, eh, John? This way.
Well done, Richard. You know what? And just a shot. There's that shot we talked about earlier. You know what? Maybe that's the shot that stems the tide for them and turns the corner. You know, they just need a little something. That's a huge shot.
Yes, absolutely right there. John's just going to play the little run back here.
Oh, very well done, John Epping. Richard KRELL is in a world of hurt. He's going to have to try to, well, he could try to make the slash. I think he's only going to get rid of 2, and then it'll probably give John a real, just a normal weight hit to get his 2 points. And or he taps this rock back on the nose and creates a pocket and hopes that John can't get it out.
Well, looks with the ice he's taking here, he's doing a little tap back, Ian.
Real soft here. I think he's on the guard here. That's really unfortunate. This is going to be a free draw for John Epping for 4 points. And with that 4 points, that will just break this game wide open. You know, John Epping will have a 7-1 lead, and I would almost think almost insurmountable.
Yeah.
The line's good, boys. No backing. Yep, picked.
Oh dear.
Hard. Still got it, Tim. Still got it. Keep on.
Wow, they're going to get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wow, that's scary.
Yeah, well, took a little pick and turned on a little bit more than they were hoping to.
Good sweep, Tim.
4 points for the John Epping rink here, and they will lead 7-1 after 5 ends of play as we go into the 5th end break. We are here at the men's Recharge with Milk Ontario Men's Tankard playoffs.
Well, that was an interesting end, Ian. It could have gone either way. John does like to get those rocks in play, and he will get away with it with some teams. He may not with others.
We got here for 5?
First one I think I was maybe in out. Maybe I was a little in out.
I don't really want to go heavyweight with you.
How's the line? I think it's a hair light still. Go. Go. Hey, Timmy. And it was a 7.
This game, but they've got nothing to lose. So to me, every end it's a little bit of all in.
Yes. Yep. And sometimes you become a little more relaxed when you're actually thinking that you may not have a chance. Do you know what I mean, Ian? A little more relaxed, make a few more shots.
Well, it's difficult for, first time on arena ice, first time, you're playing Ontario's top team on the World Curling Tour right now. John Epping's team, very experienced. These guys are really dialed into each one of their respective positions, and for the KRELL team, it could be, it's not a profession for them right now, but in the future it may be.
Yep.
We're full 12. Oh, nice shot. Throw him. It's good at putting them off the center line.
Line's good.
So Robert Curry just going to put up another corner here.
Wait for it.
Nice weight, Timmy.
Gotta curl a bit. Yep. Hard, Richie.
This
Yep.
might guard us, which is
Hard.
good.
Hard.
Set.
Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go.
Oh, that's perfect. That's off that whole side. Make it.
Well, John didn't call this earlier in the game, but it kind of feels like it's kind of a half-rock double peel here. So he's going to get Patrick Jansen to try to throw a missile here, an in-turn missile, and then make the double peel.
Easy.
Really close. Well, eliminates the 2 KRELL stones, but leaves his own.
Just looking at all the other games in play here, we have a tie game against Moss versus Bice, 4 points apiece.
All right.
We have Glenn Howard up 4-0 on Franz, and we have Mark Keane up 6-4 on Greg Balston. All playing the 6th end now.
Yeah, all the games have had really nice pace to them so far. Usually you have one game where they get into it pretty thick and heavy, and and they end up falling at least an end or so, or half an end behind a lot of the other sheets.
29.
Patrick just going to peel off the KRELL cornerstone here.
They're softer this row.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Did we just air soften them?
They pull this. I think we go around on yours.
I was like, he's good at putting it on the side forefoot.
Wait down. Yeah, like this. One more. Some wide, some tight.
This is Evan Lilly.
Chadwick.
Evan calls the game, but throws third.
Actually throws second.
Second, yes.
Throw Pat. Oh, I saw it. Hair softer on the second one. What do you think? You rip that thing? Sure. What is it, John?
Matt Cam is a former champion of this event, winning it with Mark Keane.
Yeah, and actually there was a little bit of hostility about that one, and it ended up going on because Mark's team actually had that year had to buy back into the Ontario Tankard the following season.
Right.
And Mark's whole team deserted him and went with John, and so John's team ended up getting the buy into the provincial.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, you don't see that happen too often.
Ran right where the brim was.
You know, the year after you win something, the entire team breaks up, but
Well, and especially getting to the Briar, right?
that's what I mean.
You know.
Yeah, when you win something like that. And
Like, this is not an easy event to win. Obviously, you know, we saw Wayne Tuck's team come through last season. They got down to the final, only to lose out to Glenn Howard in the final.
yeah,
But I think everybody expected John Epping's team to kind of shine through last year, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Jonah just clipping off the Epping stone and coming out to the open. It's going to give Matt Cam the opportunity to just to peel that stone out. Well done by Matt.
Sorry, John. Let's just slide it very tight.
Jonah once again going to throw his lefty out turn
Time he's getting.
and try to
My time he's getting pretty
get
good.
buried behind their yellow corner guard.
Wait only, line's good.
Yeah, just threw it too hard.
Line's pretty good. Yep. Hard. Hard.
The best he can put is back four.
You know, I'm wondering if Jonah's second stone, I don't know if they've kicked rocks around, but I'm not so sure he's made many shots with that stone. I don't know what numbers he's throwing.
That's pretty much all I see. Or you put it like. Where are you going, sorry? You go here? That's perfect, yeah. Okay.
Well, there's not many options for Richard KRELL after this, like, and that's what John's basically looking at. Like, he's got the run back, but John's thinking that, okay, if I put this thing on the top of the forefoot, there's not much for him to do. You know, you don't want to throw up a center guard because he'll just go around it.
yeah.
John's best shot might have been just to throw the double peel and try to spin his shooter right off.
It's 13-9. Make sure it's back here. Right here. Oh. You're there, you're there, you're there.
That's actually, that's terrible actually. Because now that's just because Richard can just follow that thing down. Hopefully,
You don't like this, eh?
he's just gonna play the run back. Hopefully, stay completely buried. This is one of those shots, Mary, that actually, if you can ever take the chance, if you run this back and get it rolling, buried behind your corner guard, and if you can get your shooter closer to the center line.
Right.
If John ever missed, you might have a split for three.
Yeah. Good point.
Close. Yep. Oh, no. Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah,
Whoa.
we'll say yes.
Just a little overthrown here again.
This one's just in. Never mind. Again. But the rings are off. I like it. Same ice.
John's just going to draw one in here. T-line wait.
Your line's fine, boys. Just top four.
Try to force Richard into
Let it
drawing
work.
the button.
Okay. Line's fine for top four. Your line's good. Right where my broom is. Your line's good. Right here. No, T's too far.
I think the ice makers have done a remarkable job here. This sheet of ice is quite a bit better than we saw this afternoon. The weight looks very consistent on both sides of the sheet and from end to end. So I think they'll be happy with the curl too. So you know what? This is going to make for just an incredible week for us, Mary.
It is. Be great. Kudos to those ice techs. Little hack weight shot here for Richard. He's had the pressure on him every end.
He's really close here. They almost overcooked the sweeping on it.
Yeah.
Nice shot by Richard KRELL to secure the single point. But Richard KRELL will trail by a score of 7-2 after 6 ends of play here against John Epping. Across all our sheets, over on our sheet M, Mark Keane leading Greg Baltzan by the score of 6-4. They're continuing to play the 7th end of play. Glenn Howard with a 4-0 lead on Joe Franz after 6 ends of play. Our feature game here between Richard KRELL and John Epping. Score 7-2 after 6 ends. And Mark Bice and Cody Moss, they are tied at 4 after 5 ends, but a whole bunch of stuff going on here in the 6th end.
I know, I've been blowing it every day. Top 4 almost. 15-4 to top 4.
Good.
Tim March. Lead for this Epping team.
Weight's good. Weight's good. T. On its own. Digging now. Just behind T. Sit.
That is not where John Epping wants that rock. He doesn't want even close to the behind the tee line.
No, and that's what I think we're going to be looking for this week, Ian, is how John's front end will be setting him up. So those lead rocks, so important.
Rob Curry here being asked to throw up the double center guard. I think Evan Lilly recognizing that, you know what, they are now all in. But, you know, they're going to try and, they've established their double center now, and now they're hoping that they get the opportunity to get some sort of offense going against John Epping. I'm not so sure with John's here that I might throw this rock or this stone away or try to tick one of those stones. I think having the button exposed like that is actually probably works in his favor.
Weight's good.
And then throwing another rock in there is just going to clutter it, especially when you're up 5 with the hammer. Like, what is he thinking, really?
Oh, I got to agree with you, Ian.
Just top 8.
You know, whether they're looking at, you know, this might be one of those things whether they're just looking at it as practice at this point.
Maybe, but
Nice shot, Tim.
that's a much better shot from Tim.
Well, Evan's got no choice but here to. They need rocks in play, and so at this point they're just going to try to chap the Epping stone just in behind the button and hopefully form a pocket. If they do that, you may see Epping walk up and try to throw the double center peel, but
You know, the weight wasn't bad on that, Ian. It's just you get it in that spot, it tends to run.
Well, they hit it hard early, and I think what's happening out here is that if you've got a slight bit of motion, then you hit it hard with the brushes early, then it just starts to float on you, and then you got to wait and wait and wait till it finds its line.
Nice try, Pat.
Well, Ray's going to have one more opportunity to try to get something in here.
In between her. Where? You wanted to play the angle stick, didn't you?
We play this. Control.
That's a far angled runner, though. It's tough and
It's actually going to throw some weight at this one, Ian. Control weight hit.
Well, he needs rocks in play, and by hitting this, he's not helping himself.
No.
I think the shot is probably to come in and freeze on the other stone, and or come in or on the outturn side and just tap that rock to the back of the button. He would once again form a pocket, and I'm not so sure what John would do at that point. He would probably just walk up, peel the front, but then he'll have another chance to sort of get one in there. I think John will probably just try to throw the slash double here. It doesn't make sense to really try to get another one inside there.
Board! Board! Just board! Our board. Board. Nice shot, Pat.
Good shot by Pat Jansen. See, now he's like one shot, one call too late with this one.
Yeah.
Easy. Throw, Patty.
For any of our viewers that are just joining us, obviously we're here at the Canada Summit Centre in Huntsville, Ontario for the men's Recharge with Milk Provincial Championships. Currently have the John Epping team against Richard KRELL. This is in the A-side competition. That's our second game, and on the A-side we've got a triple knockout.
John Epping in full control in this game, and he's got the hammer here in the 7th.
This is our second draw today, Mary, and we've got 3 draws coming to you tomorrow. First draw coming to you at 9:30 in the morning, then at 2:30, and then at 7:30. And that will continue on as Friday as well. Nice control there by Matt Cam. This is going to...
Piece of cake out here.
You spill off of this, it's
I
fine.
knew I was soft. That would be slam, sweep, pull sheet, in trouble. Here?
I
No.
think they're...
Almost killed it out of the hand. Yeah.
They're definitely all in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're grasping at straws here, trying to get something,
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
You know, even if he would have thrown the in-turn around right beside the other stone, it actually would have been in a pretty good spot.
Hard line. Hard red. Yep. Whoa. Close. Yep. Yep. Hard.
Trying to tap his own straight back. Line looks really good.
Change handle.
Pretty good. Nice weight.
Question is, do you play the red, yellow cross, or you just stuff that one? Yeah.
I don't like that because that yellow is just going to go across and
Yeah.
jam, I think, on the other blue, is it not?
I think so.
And then if he hits it, he may spill all his own rocks out. I think he'd better off to be going yellow, yellow here. Yellow, yellow peel.
Hard, Pat!
Exactly what happened, Ian.
Well, it just, you know, I look at that situation and you kind of, and I'm not sure what John's thinking. It's almost like he's just trying to eliminate stones, but the problem is you still need to be patient, and he's eliminating the wrong stones. The stones that aren't his trouble stones. That stone was not his trouble stone.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, yeah.
Now Richards gets the opportunity to come down here, maybe even tap this a couple inches and lay two rocks, lay 2 here.
Line's good. Yep. Oh, wait, only. Line's good. Easy roll. Close. Line's good. Yep. Yep. Hard line. Hard line. Hard. Come on, hard roll. Gotta go.
And if they can get it there.
Line's good.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah. Well, he's just giving John Epping a way out of this end.
Thin half.
He had him.
Needed to be a little deeper on that, Ian?
Oh, if he comes down and taps it, like the angles are not good for John, he's got plenty of opportunity.
Yeah.
I might have even, I thought he could have actually played the other turn and come down and been a little bit more aggressive with the weight.
Never, 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 never. Go, 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 go.
What a great shot by
Beautiful
John.
shot.
I think right there was the game.
Yeah. Another look at this.
Leave the whole sheet, so curl.
Just a routine triple for John Epping.
You know, and not just, you know, I think he's, one of the reasons that they practice so much all year long is to make sure that they've got really good slide lines, and John came out with that, and there was no extra motion, nice clean release, just hit the broom and throw the weight, and you make the shot.
It's a simple game, isn't it?
Well, from up here.
Line's good.
You think it'll come up a bit there, and that's close-ish to a
Line's good. Well, if you can, Rob.
Yeah.
Line's fine. You don't have to wait. Line's great.
Line's good.
Line's perfect. Close. Close. No bounce. Line's perfect.
Nice shot by Richard KRELL. Makes the freeze in there. John, his only shot now is to come down and just follow him down and make the freeze. Well, we've got handshakes over on sheet M. The Mark Keane team beating Greg Baldson.
Close. Real close. Whoa.
If John makes this draw, we may have similar outcome here.
Stay close. No, you're close, Tim. No, no.
They need this rock to finish.
Let it work. Let it work. Oh. Nice try, John.
No.
Yeah, just going to spin off, and it's going to be a steal. 1 point for Richard KRELL here. He'll still trail John Epping by a score of 7-3 after 7 ends of play. Well, it was a timely shot by Richard there to make that freeze.
Yes. So that'll keep them in the game here for another end. The KRELL team.
Joe Franz being forced to 1 point in the 7th end, but will trail Glenn Howard by a score of 4-1.
Yeah, let's go.
And Mark Bice getting a big 3-ender against Cody Moss, and he breaks that game open 7-4.
Win the game.
Richie, yep. Yep. Hard.
Well, Richard's going to have to go back to the drawing board here and start again with Rob Curry here. Try to throw up a center guard. Try to get his double centers established once again, Mary.
Yep. That's all he can do is just pick away at the Epping team here, and it's going to be a hard battle, but
Oh, it was there. Where is it? I thought it was there. Yep.
So they were close. Top 8, John. Come on.
It's good, Tim. Let's try, John. Close.
Same turn.
Well, it's a good shot by Tim. Obviously, not behind the tee line, Mary. So, it's
no.
But it might be a little too high because now it may give Richard KRELL's team the opportunity to go all the way around it.
Easy. Got line's fine, Jonah. Whoa. Yep. Hard, Richie. Gotta go. Hard.
It's really hanging out there.
Hard. Hard. Okay.
Now again here, Ian, John could just throw this one through. It's going to come in.
I think so.
Well, or else he could even make the tick, right?
Yes.
Tick, like to me, he doesn't need another rock in play.
No.
And the extra rock in play only goes to help
I thought 8 foot.
Richard's team.
Johnny. Should be able to get 8 foot. Top 4. Close. Real close.
We did.
Right to the back. Slower at all, or not like a 4-second back?
Sorry, Tim.
Well, that's the worst place that John would want that rock. You're in the back of the 4 foot. This just gives Evan Lilly the opportunity to come down, lock it on. There's 2 center guards in play, and even a rock in the top of the rings that is end up being a sort of a semi-guard too. So, this is huge opportunity for Richard KRELL to get a rock in position.
Easy. Whoa. Jonah. Whoa. Whoa.
Did they overcook the sweep on it though?
Yeah.
No, that's unfortunate.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
if John doesn't make the double peel here, he's going to have another shot to come down and freeze into the pocket, though.
Yep. Good switch.
Well done by Pat Jansen. That's a huge, huge double peel.
Yeah. Evan, you want the end? I like the same turn.
Go, Petty.
Go tight. Line's good. No, line's good. Oh, line's good. Line's fine. Whoa. Clean it, just clean. Clean. Whoa, clean.
to rip out. Probably.
Evan being patient here, throwing up the center guard, and John's just going to be equally as patient, just trying to peel it off. And then eventually, Richard's going to have the opportunity to freeze back there in the pocket.
It's close to that one. Oh. Are we ones on? Yeah. Oh, we're gonna peel out, I think, aren't we? And he's gonna freeze. Yeah.
Jonah here just going to throw that center guard back up. I think they're just going to keep throwing this up, and we're going to see a whole, at some point it's a little bit of cat and mouse, because even though John's shot back there, he knows that he's vulnerable because Richards can have the opportunity to freeze in there.
Line will be fine. Clean it. Line's fine. Line's fine.
Go a bit, or?
You can. Yeah, you can go a bit. No, line's good. Rich a bit if you can. Yep. Yeah, you're good. Good one, Jonah. Fine.
Is it ever crazy to do that? I don't know. No, okay.
Matt Cam just patient here to just keep throwing appeals. Well, Mary, you and I are just getting caught up in some of the Scotties scores, and we see that Holly Duncan is, beat Team Canada, and I guess that's Michelle Inglott's team, and now got herself into a tiebreaker to try to get into the final seeding pool.
Right. That's
or the championship
amazing.
pool.
Championship pool, yep. Out in Penticton, BC.
Line's the same.
Well, we send our well wishes to those girls, and it'd be nice to see them get into that championship pool, at least have a shot, and really get the adrenaline going.
So they're going to be up against Newfoundland, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
I think Newfoundland started out strong. They must have faded as the week went on.
Yeah. Well, what's John going to do here?
Where, John? Top 8? Pardon?
He's laying one right now. What he needs to do is take away any type of draw for Richard. Richard's still going to have the wide intern draw, but it's going to be one of those things where nothing's been thrown down that path this end. It's going to be a guess at ice and weight.
Yeah.
I like this call. I think this is the right call. I think if all he's got to do is get it just by his rock in the top 8 foot. Hopefully get an inch buried.
Whoa, then.
I'm not even sure you want to get it buried. I think you'd want it maybe just wide open.
Whoa. Nope.
Oh, well.
Sorry, guys.
I don't think that's so bad. I think there's still an opportunity to get inside there.
So just backline weight here for Richard. Going to try to cross this, tap it back.
too low.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Close, Rob. Whoa, whoa. No. Close.
Looks
Yep.
like it wants to.
Whoa, yep, yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, doing it hard. Good. Good as you can do.
Good shot by Richard. Actually gets it in there. I believe is he shot rocket or is he second? He must be second stone.
Yeah.
So at this point, John's just trying to cut off any type of angles or any type of draw that Richard might have. If he can sort of just get past the yellow stone of the KRELL team and get to the top of the button, there won't be any shot. He might have to just slash it out, and at that point, then John will have to make the same draw again.
Top button. Yep. Hard. Gotta go. Gotta go. Yes. Whoa. Whoa. Yep.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Just top button. Nice shot, John.
Oh, beautiful
Wow,
shot.
look at that thing winding after it got by there, eh?
Yeah. So Epping's sitting 2.
Great, I think his only shot might be some sort of angle run in here. He could pick it out, but then John's probably, unless he gets the back blue,
You have to be pretty close.
unless he makes the back blue, you know, John's going to get at least one if he's got the same draw for 2.
Sure they'll draw.
I mean, your only other shot is this, right?
You're yelling back 12. I guess it's up pretty good, or came in the back and I didn't see.
I like
Trying to move my eye to.
just forward. Yeah, that should be.
Deep touch that. If he's gazing and touch.
That was close. Yeah. Give it a go.
It's real.
Adam, the shade more, right?
Oh, sweet. My Toronto Maple Leafs are up 4-0 on the Islanders.
Are they?
Off the top.
I think Richard's going to just try to clip this thing through and maybe hang his shooter on the back of the forefoot.
No.
No, this is.
Right off. No, you gotta go.
You know, I think he's just going to end up clipping his own out of the back. Well, maybe he may have a piece. No. I think this is a free draw for 3 for
I had almost you edge.
John Epping.
I had you there. I had you there, John. You want the same ice?
Looks like a hair more. Let it work.
I think John pitched
No,
this
never.
out just a little bit. It's trying to work its way.
You're good. No piece now. No piece. still.
15-1 from hog to hog. And John's made that successful. That's going to be 3 points for John Epping, and he will win this game. Final score being 10-3 over Richard KRELL. John Epping's team will now advance to the semifinals of the A event here at the Recharge with Milk Men's Ontario Tankard.
And that will conclude our coverage of this game this evening. We would like to thank everyone for tuning in, and on behalf of the entire TSL crew, we thank you for watching, and we wish you all a great evening.
And we will see you tomorrow morning at 9:30.
That one took a sweet ass time.
Yeah, I was